Good afternoon, everyone. I'm TheCommissar, and we're watching Forged Alliance Forever. And today, we have a 5v5 game going down on a random map. It's quite high rated, so we should see some pretty good plays going back and forth. Let's meet the teams. Northern team, up here, team 1, according to the scoreboard. And we'll start with snagglefox. He's Seraphim, he's 1600 rated, and he's Burgundy. There he is. To his north, we have BlissfulNoob, 1800 rated in Mucus Brown, going first air unusually, and he's Cybran. And in the flank slot up here, we have MimiKz. Now MimiKz is the highest rated player in the game overall at 2300. He's white, he's Eon, and he'll be definitely a player to watch out for. In the front slot, we have stuxnet, UEF, 1400 rated. And last but not least for Team 1, the lowest rated player in the game at 1100, it's Mr. Death, who is Cybran and he's dark blue. Let's meet their mirrors. Down here at the back we have Sorcery, 1400 rated, Seraphim, baby blue. In the air slot here we have Juraj, Seraphim as well, 1900 rated in bright pink. In the flank slot, we have the highest rated player for Team 2, that's SpikeyNoob, he's 2100, he's UEF, and he's mauve. At the front, in dark purple, we have the Alpha. The Alpha is 1400 rated, and he's Cybran, and it was the Alpha who put this game up on the FAF Discord for maybe worthy of casting, so thank you, the Alpha. And last but not least, Varenicheck, 1400 rated, in red and in Cybran. And here he is, already making his way forward. So, the map, it's about 15 by 15. Lots of reclaim just dotted everywhere on the map. But these expansions out here are going to be worthy of fighting over, as are all these mexes up here. This corridor down here, surrounded by the rocks, is going to be well worth watching, because it's got the two top rated players facing off against each other on it. Some scoutery out from Blissful there, whose first air he's using for quite an early look at what the enemy's doing. Now here's an interesting distinction between the teams. Here's snagglefox, and he's come forward to take this expansion with his comm, so maybe he's looking to apply some pressure down here, while Sorcery considers it more worth his time to be back in his base, using his commander for eco and reclaim. And he's only got an engineer claiming these mexes up here. Any interesting raiding going on as yet? Doesn't look like it. How's the early eco? Slight lead for Team 2, but not significant, not by a long shot. And in fact, it looks like it's gone back to dead even. Team 2 has a little more reclaim, but again, 1000 could make a difference if there were combat going down already, I guess, but I don't think that will pan out to do much in the long term. Varenicheck and Mr. Death setting up in the exact positions you'd expect them to, facing off against each other here. Spikey coming forward to this position, MimiKz a little slower to do so. Juraj not happy with something. Juraj not happy with these tanks poking around. Oh no, he's not happy with this. So we do have a little run by here from stuxnet. That's quite nice. And if it takes out that, look at that, it's denied the hydro for Juraj, which might slow down his build. Now Juraj's only just now putting up his first air factory, whereas we've seen already 2 out from BlissfulNoob. That's Snoop still hiding around the back. But it's going to push forward, and it just gets shot by this striker. Nope, it's stuxnet sees the wisdom of having a scout hiding at the back and hides it. Lots of land production here for MimiKz, that'll be quite nice. Nice adjacency to this mix, reducing the mass cost of producing all that spam. And Spikey here only has 2 land factories and 1 air, so though he's getting some more up front, so for the moment there will definitely be more spam coming out from MimiKz, which you can see trickling up here. Juraj complaining at this as 1 tank from Spikey breaks all his tree clumps and decreases the efficiency of these engineers reclaiming. But here we have something worth looking at. Here we have Stux going toe-to-toe with Alpha's comm, but Alpha has many more mantes in the area than Stux has strikers. And this could be actually pretty dangerous for Stux. He's down into the yellow. He's got a few tanks, but they're just being picked off, and Alpha could claim a very early kill, just 6 minutes into the game at the moment. Stux is surrounded by the spam from Alpha. Look at this, he's really badly hurt. Alpha's just well into the green and Stux has just dropped into the red. But the spam has run out for Alpha. There were tanks here from Stux. There was tanks here from Stux and his ally Mr. Death. 1900 hit points though, but the Alpha may have overextended. Look at all this from Stux and Mr. Death. Down to 1800 for Stux, but it looks like he's going to make it out. And now it's the Alpha who is in peril. That's Spiky Cyber and Com. Here he comes, but he's surrounded. He's surrounded by spam, he's surrounded by Arty. He's not looking in a good way. And bang! Up goes the Alpha at 7 minutes 20, the first ejection from the game. As the highest rated player on his team, his stuff will be taken by Spikey because full share is on. And there it is. So here, let's have a look at this. T2 air just complete for Juraj. Also complete for Blissful, so feels like he's a bit slower there. His P-gen is only like a quarter done, whereas this P-gen for Juraj is finished as of this moment. We had a little bit of trouble here with a little push from Stux into Varenicheck's base, but Sorcery came and dealt with it with his comm. But now, let's have a look at this. We got gun upgrade on Mr. Death, and we got a second comm here from snagglefox, compared to a completely bare comm from Varenicheck. And stealth now going down, and for Mr. Death, gun for snagglefox. So Varenicheck, he's got spam, sure, but he could be in danger. Meanwhile, spam from Mr. Death and stuxnet is coming down here, where there isn't really much to stop it. So we'll want to keep an eye on that, but we'll also want to keep an eye on this, where Spikey has the gun, has damaged MimiKz, who's bare, and is just pushing him back. MimiKz has a reasonable amount of spam though, so Spikey thinks better of it and falls back a little bit. Spikey transfers this base to Sorcery, Sorcery transfers it to Juraj. These fellas coming in, and there's a lot of build power here, but there's no actual units, so but there will be a Rhino or two here soon, and a couple of Mantes, so maybe this is too little too late, especially if stuxnet hangs back like that. Out comes a Rhino, PD going up very quickly. That Rhino barely taking any damage from the T1. And these PDs are up. So that push has been quite quickly defeated. What else have we got going on? Juraj has got his T3 air up and running, and T3 air is almost complete for Sorcery as well. Whereas Blissful, he hasn't even completed his T3A yet, and none of his allies are doing anything about high-tech air. So, looks to me like there's going to be a severe air advantage for the south. However, here we have something interesting. Stealth Guncom is just eating up Varenicheck's forward outpost and pushing him straight back. And these Ilchevals and snagglefox, who's got T2 as well as gun, this could be quite a severe threat. And spam from Stux. Between the three of them, 2 coms, some Ilchies, 2 blobs of spam against 1 bear cob and 1 blob of spam. Feels to me like this is only going one way, and I mean, sure, Sorcery's comes down here, but he's bear as well, and he's got barely anything in terms of units. But we have T3 up and running for Varenicheck, and he's producing bricks. If he can get enough bricks to stop this, then that would be great, and he'd end up with a huge reclaim field. But can he? This is where it's all going down. That spam from Stux dies while Mr. Death tries to push down here, but he'll find a wall from from Sorcery, whichever S-named player of war, blocking his way. Quick check up here to see MimiKz now has double gun and shield, whereas Spiky has the one gun that the UEF have and T2. And that T2 PD won't really hurt this shielded double gun com, though Spiky's carefully blocking the line of fire to it. Back down here, Varenicheck just falling back. He thinks he's not got a chance against this until he's got more bricks. At the moment he's only got 1. And this mass field is now... Oh, that's pretty nice. That's nearly 2,000 mass, and it's all in the hands of the force from the north. While this little area has been cleared up, and looks like snagglefox is going to try and take it. So that's quite the advantage for the northern team. I don't like this. Look at this. Sure, he's defended by bricks, but that's a very forward place to put down an upgrade on your com. And gun would be nice, but you've literally got a gun com shooting you, and he can overcharge these bricks. That brick nearly dead. And I mean, can they even see him? Oh, they can, because they've got a scout plane over him, but... So his stealth not really paying off there. And sure, there's two more bricks after that one died, but... With this amount of stuff, and with a shield going back for them to retreat to... And this upgrade is still on, he's still routed to the spot. I think this is a mistake. But we also need to pay attention up here, where the double gun shield com is definitely pushing Spiky back. Spiky's being bold and going back and forth, but with this sniper bots... Oh, but there's a strat coming in. Anyway, back down here. Look at this. I said it was a silly idea, and my word, was I proved right. Deep into the red, still on the upgrade. He can, if Mr. Death there just focuses him down, and he does. Bang! There goes Varenicheck, defeated by Mr. Death, and what have they got to stop this other force here? MimiKz, quite badly hurt by that strat, but there are now ASFs out from Blissful, which I presume we dealt with it, though they're quickly going to be shooed off by these ASFs from Juraj, who definitely has the superior air force. He's had T3 air for quite a while, and he's preparing to do some more. There's also strats coming out from Sorcery, while Juraj covers... Ooh, and also covers a lot of gunships. This is going to be worth looking at, because that's a lot of gunships. And sure, they're putting up T1 anti-air, but Mr. Death's been hurt by the comm bomb. Could we see a sudden turnaround from this base that was looking so good just a second ago? Bang! They both go up, but whatever he was doing, it's also killed Sorcery. Anybody see what killed Sorcery there? But Spikey gets all this. He's probably going to give it to Juraj. And MimiKz gets all of this. Maybe he'll give it to Blissful, or maybe he'll keep it. So, huge territorial advantage to the northern team. I mean, just look at it from their point of view. They own 80 to 90% of the map, compared to this piddling... Okay, 75, because this is in the hands of Spikey. But they own 75% of the map. They've got 3 players rather than 2. And Team 1, they're nearly 100 ahead on eco. And they've collected about... How much was that? 20k more total, so nearly a monkey's extra mass. But this air, they've got no answer to it down here. Pays to keep drinking nice liquid in this heat. Here I am in the south of England, and it's sweltering hot down here, I promise you. Whew. Artie, up from Spikey. He's been doing some work with Titans, pushing in around here. And now Titans are good for just kiting in and out. Look at this, he's taking out Mexes for against MimiKz. He's got these little clusters of Titans running around and generally causing problems, because they're among the fastest T3 units. And sure, they're going to die to these Harpies and Snipers in the end, but they're going to do not insignificant eco damage to MimiKz. And that 50 mass lead is now only 40 mass. Still, 40 mass, not to be sniffed at. Few units pushing in around here. Feels like there's some good work that these fellas could do if they just came in around here, because there isn't much to stop them here at the moment. These gunships have been caught napping, and Blissful's fighters come in to do some damage, but Juraj sends in his ASF. Don't know who's going to win that. Feels like Juraj is probably going to win that. Three air factories for Blissful, and MimiKz has also taken it upon himself to join the T3 air fun. Compared to 2 air factories, 3 for Juraj as well. T3 going down for Spikey. Presumably he's thinking of some Ravager fun. MimiKz has dropped back a bit with his comm, as you'd expect at the T3 stage, despite having double gun and shield. Blissful not happy about something. He's not happy about this gunship and brick push. And he's got a few ASFs, but feels to me like there's just slight air advantage in the hands of the south. Spikey not at all focusing on his eco though. Up here we can see that Spikey has only 89 mass per tick compared to 104 for Stuxnet and 119 for Blissful. Juraj has 350 but he's on 4 bases, 260 for MimiKz but he's on 3 bases. These bold and forward mexes just going down to bricks, but they more than paid for themselves. It takes only 18 seconds to pay back a T1 mex, as I've said many times. Fact well worth remembering for when you're playing. Mr. Death suggesting to Blissful that he get a few more ASF, and Blissful agrees. He does feel like he hasn't got an answer to the Air Force from Juraj at the moment. But that said, I don't see the gunships. Have they been shot? Well, we can check that. Yeah, all the gunships dead. Accidentally slowed it down to -7 there instead of setting it to observer. That was fun. So these Titans, they've been doing good work, but against this much Sniper and Harby, I fear those Titans are going to be forced to withdraw. Spikey's got the T3. What's he building now? Wonder what concerns Stuxnet. We'll find out in a moment. Tactical missile, nice. Stuxnet is concerned by this force of Spam and... is that Percy's? Yeah, Spam and Percy's from Spikey, but Spikey's going to need it and possibly more to deal with all of that. The Titans and this force might be able to take it here, but against the snipers he's going to have to do well, because MimiKz can just micro this back and do a lot of damage here, especially when it's protected by these mobile shields. Down here, that quite hefty brick and rhino force seems to have met its match in the form of some other bricks backed up by Oshivos. That feels like it's just going to be a bit of a mass dump. I mean, it's nice, it's probing in quite well, but... and it's retaken out these, but MimiKz holds these bases and Juraj does not hold these, and now that that's dead and it's left 11,000 mass just sitting right there for some of these engineers from MimiKz to come and pick up. How's Spikey doing with the tactical missiles? Well, he's not going to have much fun there because there's a shield in the way. Obviously shooting over it. Nope, he's shooting over it. He might have taken that out. And he takes that out, so he's getting some good eco damage done with that TAC missile. Think he can get that one? There's a TMD going up. But would I be more worried if I were Spikey about this force? He's lost most of his spam. He's got these Percys around here. And he's got a few more coming up here, but it doesn't feel like it's enough to stop that. Ah, he didn't get this mix. In the end, the TMD went up in time. This second push of bricks has got a little more done. Looks like it might have some good work to do on these mexes here. Slightly better air force now from the northern team, and a lot of SAMs up from Stux, means that these scouts from Juraj just don't really get very far. We have a chicken on the way for Juraj. Do we see any other XPs going down? Not that I can see from MimiKz over there. Or Stux. Nah, I think that chicken that we see for Juraj is the first XP on the board. These mexes have been taken out, so these bricks at least, they've done something, they've achieved something. And I think they also just took out the HQ there, so that's going to slow down production of land units for MimiKz on this side, since he now doesn't have any... oh, actually he's got Serotech over here, he's got Othiums coming out. But that's a lot of air, and I don't know if Juraj isn't responding. Maybe he thinks that with this air force from both MimiKz and Blissful, it's not worth the FAF, if you'll pardon the pun. Chicken complete for Juraj down here. And he immediately hands it over to Spikey, saying use it on your side. And it's coming up here, so that could be a real game changer for Spikey, who I feel has been having just a bit of trouble. I mean, sure, those Percys have done something, but he's lost these mexes here. He hasn't really made any progress against MimiKz force here. Now MimiKz has the advantage that he can focus any of that 338 eco over here or wherever he pleases, whereas Spikey's only got 104, and it's all here. Now Juraj, with his 628, and ever increasing, is doing pretty well, but there's 370, 240 for MimiKz and 149 for Stux. So overall, Team 2 is actually caught up now in eco, but overall, thanks to a huge reclaim lead, the northern team are ahead in total mass accrued by 70,000. That's like 3 monkeys, I think, give or take. 2 GCs. So they're significantly ahead in mass, but what are they doing with it? Here's a good big push, and this time it is covered by the air from Juraj. MimiKz has responded, but Blissful hasn't, and that makes me feel that MimiKz is just going to lose his air here. He pings it, and Blissful responds, but it's too late. MimiKz just says, nah, this is over. I don't think it is. He's rebuilt that and then lost it again. But suddenly, his team's back in the eco lead by nearly 100, so he must have got something good going there. That chicken has been coming up really slowly. Ha! Look at its silly little globular head. If I don't use that as my thumbnail, I'll wonder what's wrong with me. This is brave though. Spikey with his gun missile Tech 3 com just walking forward and defended only by a chicken. And sure, a chicken's a lot to be only defended by, but if a bunch of snipers maybe, although I don't see many snipers in the mix anymore for MimiKz. Bunch of snipers, Ravager, any of that lot, and boom, Spikey would explode. So these Ravagers are a good defense against the chicken, as is all of this. I think by sending it in, I say unsupported, sure there's like 3 Percies, but is this chicken gonna really get much done? It doesn't feel like it is. Though MimiKz is falling back, presumably to catch it out in some way. Well, that goes down. Have we got any other things in the way of experimentals on the board? Juraj keen to defend himself, getting advanced nano in case of a snipe, and putting up a lot of point defense there. Not seeing any other XP construction at the moment for the southern team. Juraj keen to do a lot of this brick push though. These snipers will be an excellent counter to the bricks when there are Othums to stand in the front line and draw the fire though. So I think that brick push is just going to peter out. Check back on the chicken. There was a GC under construction for MimiKz, and the chicken's focusing it. I think, could the chicken not have focused down the Harveys first at least? And now the chicken turns and faces away to try and retreat. This feels like just a lost chicken. This feels like it wasn't used very well. And I know, here's me criticising somebody rated over 1,000 above me, but just, I mean, that chicken, what? It just feels like a waste. However, Juraj is winning air up here, so he's got to be careful. There's flat here, there's redeemers here. He'll lose a lot more air than he has to by fighting over all that. There goes the chicken, turning into an ion storm. A lot of engineers massing here. I wonder what he's got planned for those. A lot of engineers massing here. They're expanding his air grid. Let's take a look at the air grid. We have 1, 2, 3, We have 4 factories up, a 5th on the way, and 4 more planned for Juraj up there. And of course, let's not forget that other fellow down there. And he is building another XP in the end. He's got a chicken here, he's got some anti-nukes. Up here, MimiKz still now has 4 air factories. And, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up here, and a 10th on the way for Blissful. So there's more air production in the north now, and ecos are all pretty much even now, so could be an air win for the north. We saw an XP being finished for MimiKz, and it's the GC. As you can see, it's quite damaged already because the chicken shot it while it was under construction. Anti-noob's going up for MimiKz, he's no fool. Fat Boy nearly... Oh, actually only half done. I was going to say nearly done, but it isn't. It's half done. How did that get there? Percy from Stux just sort of walking up there and dying. I guess he must have dropped them here or something. If anyone saw that, please do tell me below. So, right now, who do you think's going to win? We're half an hour into the game. We've got back to a reasonably even split of map control, and Team 2 has finally pulled ahead in eco. But the air is beginning to just come back under the control of the northern team. There's more XPs under control of the northern team, and Spikey, very brave to be just going there in the face of a lot of T3 and a GC. Oh, he's got... Is that only 2 Percys defending? I think it is. So this could be Spikey in trouble. We'll keep an eye out for that later. Sorcery's been spotting strats. Well, they're not there anymore. Oh, there they are. Strats. That could have been a snipe, and I think he should have just gone for it. He could have taken out Spikey with all of that. And anything he didn't take out, the Colossus could have cleaned up. Fat Boy now really is nearly done for Spikey, but MimiKz, he's got a second GC coming in. However, Spikey needs to... Oh, Spikey's got another chicken given to him by Juraj, and that GC is already damaged, so this chicken should be enough to win the fight. Especially using its big plasma balls to do area damage on these boys. I like these, a bit of absorber use from MimiKz. The shield breaker's just popping this ring of shields around the chicken. No trouble at all. However, thanks to the damage he did earlier, that GC is going down. There's Spikey's Fat Boy finishing, and snagglefox points it out. That chicken's badly damaged, but... Oh, is it done? No. Its Iron Storm might do a bit of damage to those Harbies, though. So, with a Fat Boy and a chicken here, we might see a bit of a counter push from Spikey. And Juraj's also rolled in a chicken over here, though, for reasons as yet unknown. He's pulling it back. Big reclaim field here. Let's have a look at the size of that. 15, 25, 20, that's about 60k mass there. 50k mass there, 30k mass there. There's an immense amount of reclaim to be scooped up for whoever can get their greasy paws on it. Sorcery warding of gunships somewhere. Those gunships? Those look like fighters to me. ASFs. Look at this air grid though. Is that 13 air factories plus the one we know is down there? Pretty nice. But we're now beginning to get into endgame phase. We have T3 Arty going up here for Blissful, who's got it under a stealth field, so hopefully the other team haven't seen it yet. And his air grid is still looking pretty good. Oh, that is a decent horde of gunships, but they're still only T2, so nothing too great there. That said, they are Vulthals, which basically T2.5, so not too terrible. Looks like Spikey might be planning something here, maybe an arty. What do you think? And Spikey is starting a nuke here. So, be interesting to see what he uses it for. Because we earlier noted that there was SMD up pretty much everywhere for the northern team. Fat boy under construction there for Stux. But I was interested in SMDs, wasn't I? Pretty sure I saw one somewhere up here, but now I can't see hide nor hair with it. Oh well, we'll worry about that if the nuke actually launches. Another Colossus comes off the production line from MimiKz. And that's probably the fatty there, finishing for Stux. When I first started playing FAF, fatties were my favourite XPs. Now they're not. Now I much prefer going in with a attacky XP rather than a bombardy XP. 2 chickens and a fatty here, backing away from 2 GCs and the third following up. If they're properly microed, the fatties and chickens win this. MimiKz knows it and he backs away. Maybe he's trying to match up with the rest of this force and this shielding and this extra GC and hoping to get something done. But look at this. What's this? We have a YOLO going down for Juraj. And it's pretty fast. Look at that. So already 23% done. 24. 25. That's going to be up in no time. He can afford to throw 1.3k eco into it, which is crazy. So, although that said, Team 1 between them do actually have a 300 eco lead. So, here we have a big push. But, we've also got the first disruptor online, finally, for Blissful, and a second already started. And it's my belief, if he's got any sense, that this air grid is this unshielded T3 Jenny air grid, like that, is gonna be a prime target for that disruptor fire. Let's have a look at it. Come on. I'm expecting a disruptor shell to land right there and just blow this up. Nope. You're gonna disappoint me? Fine. Taking out a mech so close. Well, we'll worry about that if anything actually happens. Oh, anything in fact like that. Boom. That's going to set off quite a chain reaction. Really? Really? Here I am focusing on an air grid for like 5 minutes, just wanting to see the whole thing go up in a big cloud of disruptor fire, and nothing actually happens. Oh, there we... Look at that, look at that, look at that Seraphim carnage as the entire air grid of Yuri explodes in fire and general terror and all things bad. But let's have a look at how the air game stands. 240 for Yuri. He has still got air production thanks to OH kills. 240 for Yuri. 81 for MimiKz. And 284 for Blissful. So Northern Team do have air now. So that all got wiped out as you'd expect. And look at that, there's 100,000 mass.
Strategic
right there.
Detected.
The YOLO's finished, but that strat is out from Snagger. Now we saw a lot of SMD going down. Who's that strat going for? I might have considered nuking there if I were Spiky, where there's a lot of T3, but nope, he was aiming for the back and it just got shot down by the SMD that we saw earlier and that I haven't been able to spot again. There it is. Duh. Okay, nice.
Strategic launch detected.
And there's the YOLO launching. Sorcery saying reclaim steer about that huge mass there, because MimiKz and Stux and Blissful all have energies in there just eating it up. But let's have a look at this YOLO shell. Is it going for this? Is it gonna get it? There's 2 disruptors, there's a whole great... I think it's gonna get through. You ready for this, guys? You ready? Boom. That's painful for Blissful. His whole air grid, both his disruptors. And what do you know but that the YOLO is just firing again. Team 1 still has the eco lead despite just having the whole grid nuked. And they do still have the air lead, of course. This side base, how does it fare? Oh, there's an anti-nuke. There's 2. Shockingly, MimiKz was able to stop that YOLO shell. Shell? Round. Missile. Whatever.
Strategic launch.
More standoff here. We have the Fat Boys against Fat Boys, facing off against each other, and GCs against chickens. Where's that one going? Could it be defensive? Ah no, that would have been fun though. Can MimiKz stop a second one up here? There's nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. Could MimiKz be about to lose his air grid over here? Smack. Poor MimiKz.
Strategic launch detected.
And that YOLO just keeps firing. However, trouble for Spiky, as these 2 Fat Boys and these 2 GCs and the Fat Boy of MimiKz push in and they force a retreat from the Fat Boy of Spikey. There's a lot of T3 in support here. Percy's from Stux and Harby's from MimiKz. There's a lot of Harby's from MimiKz. And he's just straight in there with NGs to grab all the replay. Isn't that nice? Didn't even see what that other nuke did. I think he just got shot down.
Launch detected.
Where's that going? Oh, that's going for MimiKz back here, but he's got 2 in the clip there. He'll shoot that one down at least. But this is the writing on the wall for Spikey. His fat boy is putting on a brave defense against those 2 GCs. Really? Do I see TeleMaser being built in the background there? I fear that I do, by Blissful. Is he going to try and tele out the YOLO? Spikey runs away, as well he should. He's got a lot of Ravagers. He's got a fat boy.
Strategic launch detected.
Did I just... Okay, I've heard of a defensive nuke, sure. Nothing wrong with a defensive nuke. But what I have never seen before is a defensive YOLO being fired into your ally's main base. And to make things worse, it didn't kill any of the experimenters. In teleports Blissful, as we saw him building that telemaser, but he just dies to these vast banks of PD. Where's that nuke going? Up here, we'll see in a moment whether Stuxnet can survive it. Is Spikey about to go out? He doesn't have overcharge anymore, of course. Oof. Ooh. But they're down. The GCs are down. Spikey's alive. The YOLO's alive. How is that possible? But now, the eco-lead of Team 1, they have nearly twice the mass per tick of Team 2. Is the writing on the wall? What do you think?
Strategic launch detected.
Because, sure, they've got like 90% of the map, but they've got a YOLO. Ha! And now Spikey can overcharge that for sure. I think I saw that nuke coming up here. There's no nukes in the clip there. Anti-nukes rather. And there's no anti-nukes in the clip there. And there's one there. Are we about to see some problems for Stux? The first... Yes, we are. Bang. Stux's comm is safely back here. I say safely in as much as you can ever be safe when there's a YOLO shooting at you. So now it's 1 and a bit versus 1 and a bit. It's Juraj versus MimiKz. Juraj's got problems. MimiKz has problems. Have they got anything really to answer back with to that YOLO?
Strategic launch detected.
I think MimiKz has enough anti-nucleary to survive here. 0, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, he can stop that. And he's putting up enough more that he should be able to keep on stopping it, I think. So that one's not getting anything done. This is a lot of T3 and a fat boy. 3 chickens might be able to take it. those Percies are in for a bad time, but one of the chickens is already down to far from the Percies and the Fat Boy.
Strategic launch detected.
Was that another defensive nuke I saw down there? Maybe not. Maybe yes. Maybe it was just a ping. Yeah, it was just a ping. That nuke's heading up here somewhere. Maybe for this. Maybe for this, but I still don't think that's going to get through. Yeah, there's enough to stop. Another 2 YOLOs there. Only 1 chicken left alive, but it's driven back the Percies. It's killed the Fatty. Some good last-ditch defense work from Juraj. And he has got 2 chickens over here. We haven't really focused much on this flank, but it's just experimental defense against just heaps and heaps of bricks messing around. Not giving up is Juraj. He's certain he can get through here. He can't. There's at least enough to block 1 more. But look at these. Stealth strat bombers being massed up at the back by MimiKz. This chicken's still getting good work done, just cleaning up the horde of reclaim engineers. Though, I mean, they've already got most of that. Remember when there was 100,000 mass there a minute ago? Not anymore. And when we look at the reclaim figures, 250,000 mass. They've reclaimed an entire extra Mavor's worth of mass than the southern team. That's impressive.
Strategic launch detected.
That's going to get through though, because that's out of range of all of these anti-nukes back here. And that defensive line of RT is going down, these Tier 3 factories are going down. Also some T3 mixes. At the moment, Stux is on 340 mass per tick because he's just got so many T3 mixes despite having been nuked here. It's going to go down a little bit when those mixes are nuked out. Did they? No, they didn't. I was shocked for a moment that they might have survived. And Stuxnet loses 100 mass in 1 explosion. A GC sneaks in and retreats in the face of multiple chickens. Can that break through over here? I think it can. I don't think there's anything in the way of loaded PDD here. I think that MimiKz was going to assist it with some of those NGs and then he didn't. Stux asks, so should we say GG? And Mr. Death says, wait, we have like 30 strats almost, and they do. If they can take up the YOLO, then all bets are off. That nuke does get through, but even so, they're still 200 mass ahead of their opponents confined to this tiny little corner of the map. There's now 5, 6, 7 chickens out here on the flank, and that could push through. That nuke launches for here, and it probably will get through, because I think all the nuke defenses there are gone. But all eyes on this. 2 chickens up here pushing through. If this strat force can take out the YOLO, maybe even take out the comms, then all of this nukery will matter for nothing. In MimiK's position, would I go for the YOLO, or would I simply split the force to take out the 2 comms? Do I know where they are? Oh, I actually don't know where they are, so yeah, YOLO it has to be. He engages the air to keep them distracted while these stealth bombers side in. There's a lot of SAMs around here, and immediately Yuri notices and willingly loses the air fight to hit the strats. But that's a lot of strats and that's a lot of bombs. And it's down. The YOLO is down. And there's still a load of strats left. They've won air. They've seen Yuri's come. The strats come back and boom, Yuri's suddenly dead and everything gets handed over to Spikey. Except for the SMDs for some reason. There they go. So now, it's 1 versus 1 and Stux. Not to diss Stux, he has actually got a fat boy up and he's still got 200 mass production. It just feels like MimiKz is the player to watch here. But there are chickens in Mimic space from here. There's still a big heap of chickens down here. These chickens feel like they can just be stratted, and indeed they are being stratted and T1 bombed and generally just having a mess made of them. But ecos are back in balance thanks to all of that shenanigan. Spikey just feels like he needs defense now, and with shield, gun and T3, that's some of the best defense that a UEF com can get. And with full vet he's got 20,000 hit points and a decent amount of shield. How much shield do I know? Not off the top of my head, but never mind. Bro, how many chickens is that? Asks MimiKz. And he has a right to worry, because if we... Oh, wrong player. If we go to Spikey and count the chickens, there are 11 chickens. That's a lot of chickens. They're being supported by bricks, and sure, there's a fat boy in defense, there are curses in defense, but 11 chickens? That's a lot of chickens. This chicken's down. I think there's no question now but that MimiKz has got air. 63 ASFs compared to 50 for Spikey. And that's not going to hurt matters for Spikey. That fat boy's so nearly done, but I think that this force is going to kill it before it's finished. Poor fatty, we hardly knew ye. The chickens are gathering together into a chicken death ball. There's 5 here now, and a lot of bricks. And this feels like a do or die play from Spikey. Though, to be fair, there aren't any game enders but these strats. If they can just find Spikey. Does he know where Spikey is? He doesn't. He's looking, but he doesn't know. They just never end, says Mr. Death. 57 minutes. Is this going to turn into what is traditionally known as an epic? Like so many things in the FAF casting community, I believe it was Guile who coined epic to mean an hour or longer. I see no reason to go against that trend. Lots of Ravagers here, and this chicken push may peter out. Don't get caught, says Blissful, pointing out MimiKz hide just standing in the corner. He's got shields, he's got guns, but he hasn't got stealth or anything, and he hasn't got anything else to defend him. Only 2 chickens left out of the grand push there. Oh no, there's more coming up there. Only 2 out of the original 5 left, but there's 3 more, 4 more, 5 more pushing in. Here come the strats. Do they know where Spiky is? They do know where Spiky is. Could it be about to end? I see those strats dive to make their bombing run. And Spiky survives. His ASFs come in to clean up the strats. There's no second pass. Well, there's a tiny bit of a second pass, but it's not going to get through that shield. And Spiky survives, and MimiKz just cores it. With 2, well, 1 of the energy signature chicken in his base. Sure, the chicken's being stratted, but what can he do? Team 1 on the back foot economically, on the back foot in terms of having a bunch of chickens and Percys in their base. Look at this, there's chickens everywhere. Another wave of stealth strats, because what else can Stux do at this stage other than try and bomb Spiky to death? Because how else is he going to get anything there? And Sorcery points out the ACU, who is at the back here. And it feels like, despite the fact that Team 1 seemed like they were in the lead for so much of this game, it feels like Spiky might be able to close it out with those chickens. There's a lot of Sams here. Are these strats getting through? Corsairs going the other way. No, those strats aren't getting through. Is he just trying to control K fighters on top of Stuxnet? But here come the fighter bombers. Bang! 1 hour, 1 minute, 18 seconds. SpikeyNoob blows up Stuxnet, and after 5v5 was slowly whittled down to 1v1, we finally have a victor. What do you think, dear viewers? Tell me in the comments below. Did you think that Spiky was going to manage a comeback after that huge push and after the YOLO on their team was destroyed? Who can say? Anyway, you know the drill. My loyal followers, please remember to like, subscribe, and obey, and I will see you next time.